welcome back to another Warcraft Rumble video, guys. And in this one, we are finishing off Wing 3 with Golemagg. This fight is by far, at least in my opinion, the hardest, even harder than Ragnaros himself. That's right, this one took us a ton of attempts, and you're going to want to make sure you watch this video to the very end to really learn from both our mistakes as well as our successes. Now, before we get into the details of today's video, I do want to give a very special shout out to Warcraft Rumble and Blizzard for sponsoring today's video. Thank you guys so much for working with us. Now, let's get straight to the content. I'm going to pause throughout this because this is a doozy of a fight, and you can make your life a whole lot easier if you learn from what we did and did not do. So we did go with a double Drakkisath dex. We took a ton of time on this boss. This is by far the one boss that we spent the most amount of types on and had most amount of time on and had the most amount of wipes on. So this is the final kill that we ended up going with. And honestly, it was cleaner than some of our other runs, but not as clean as it could have been. Let's get straight to it. So the idea here is that you have sort of these three towers in the middle, and you have these two massive firehounds, bloodhounds, the big hounds in the middle, huge ones. They're considered mini bosses, which is very important, which means you can't CC them with like a polymorph or stuff like that. Now, when they die, so when you kill one of these when you walk across one of these lines, the hound is going to come literally sprinting at your minis. All right. And when he's not sprinting at your minis and trying to kill you, he's just going to go back and forth. Both of them are back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now, as soon as you cross a line, as soon as your first mini crosses either of these three little channels, if you will, the far right, the middle, and the far left, I'm using my mouse if you can see it. He's going to charge at it. So the idea is that you tank him with a quill burrow away from the lane you want to push, or earth elemental or something of that nature. The idea is that you buy yourself enough time to basically sneak by him. It is a lot easier said than done. Trust me, we tried it so many times. But you're going to see, even after, once you kill the dog, the reason you don't want to kill it is that the circles on the towers over there will actually kill the tower. So you literally just lose your tower's health based off an AoE flame as well as minis that are on it. So it's kind of a pain in the butt of a fight, I'm gonna be honest. Now, you can drop your hatchlings, if you will, or your spells. You can do execute spam on the boss, so you can hurt him, but you're basically going to push into a phase where you get even more minis, and then it turns into like, how long can you survive? So there's a strategy of just use unbound minis, try to kill the boss, use spells, and do all that, or the single lane push and win. So the single lane push and win is, at least in my opinion, the easiest one. That's when you're going to see us going through, but we do sprinkle in some AoE damage or like unbound damage as well. So let's go ahead and look at the pull and the start. So there's the hound. You can see that you do want to start off with your tank, and then of course a healer. Now note the healer that I'm running. I'm running Frostwolf Shaman. So is my partner, but they are using Frostwolf Shaman with the armor trait, and I'm using it for the trait that gives us the healing totem on the base, because as you can see, you basically take a lot of damage all the time, because you get earth elementals that spawn at your base, you get fire elementals, you get all kinds of bad things that come your way. So you can see that we killed the boss, the mini boss, if you will, really, really quickly. So now we are pushing in as fast as possible to get into this tower. You can see the fire around the tower. We're using execute on it. We are seeing, and bam, that's when the boss has respawned. You can see that I drop a cool barrel off to the right in order to try to pull him off, but obviously it was just too late of an effort. At this point, I was probably exhausted of sparing my head against the wall. We do get the tower, but bam, we do lose it because we killed the dog, and now we're also engaged with another dog. So you can see that I put my whelp eggs at the very top. It's going to do a non-amount of incremental damage. It's going to do some decent incremental damage to the boss. Now, unfortunately, they were immediately killed because of the Drake that was up there, but you can do that almost all the time and just keep spawning your eggs. Like I said, it is a non-trivial thing to do. You can see that we are constantly going back and forth trying to keep his turret, using quill burrows and what we have there, but now they have their units back. So you can see that we actually start a second push going to the far left, and I'm gonna basically just get an answer for this earth elemental. So we have a Drakkisath to the right, Drakkisath to the left, and then we're still fighting over with our unbound units trying to keep this middle turret. The main idea here is that you get past this sort of zombie phase of just endless swarms coming at you, and get a tower. After that, you can basically push and win. It's just maintaining the first tower and then not having the first dog or the bottom dog get in the way. So you can see we have a full health Drakkisath. We have a nice push who's clearing out the top there. We have a weak Drakisath pushing the far right turret, but now our Drakisath tracked backwards for the Earth Elemental. So some bad RNG there, but you can see we did get the far right turret. So now I care a lot less about this middle phase, right? So we use executes and heals and all that, trying to keep it alive. But I'm also going to be a little cognizant of getting some damage done to the boss. So you can see that we are getting potentially a free push, and then bam, there's the dog again. But again, I care a lot less about this dog because we already have a mid lane push. We can use execute to clear that off. So we have a nice progression. We basically made it past the first dog, which is by far the hardest part. So now I see, okay, here we go again, where we killed a dog. We're getting a ton of fire damage, but our base is maintaining for now. So I go ahead and play my Drakisath as well as my Harpies. I'm ready for yes, boom. So as soon as he comes back up, my Harpies take the boss. My clanmate also did the hatchlings, which is perfect, and then bam, so we got it. You can see that we're basically just going to keep going back and forth, but we have a really nice push. So now this is burn phase, right? We have now identified that we have a half decent push that made it there. We got hatchlings, we have executes, and we just spam finish it. We have 2 healers on him and 2 Drakisaths. That's enough to burn it down, and that's the fight. Honestly, that's the fight. So once you get past that point of getting past the first dog, once you get a turret and you get, again, ideally 2 Drakisaths and 2 healers, and then whatever else, just full rush the boss down. Don't try to look at certain phases and think they do different things. They do, and they spawn more stuff. So just burn him down. But keep in mind, if you are trying to be a little clever and do where you are pushing at the same time as doing damage to the boss, you are inevitably going to slow your pushes down. So it's almost a good thing to not hit the boss until you get that big push, and then just surge him down. Just 100-0. Tank and spank, Drakisaths for the win with, you know, your eggs and your executes. That's gonna be the easiest way to get this dog down. Now, I just want to sort of revisit this. You can see how difficult it is, though, to get past this phase. This is where this Drakisath on paper looked really good. We have another one over there. We have 2 healers on this Drakisath. This feels good. Like, this is, now the dog comes over. So again, we have a Drakisath and a healer. This feels good. Ooh, that was actually a nice pickup there. Bam, and we get a Drake. So, oh, Drake's dead. So your basically your best defense is going to be your Frostwolf Shaman, at least in my opinion, with the healing totem, as well as your gosh, what's her name? The Huntress? No, who's the one? The Siren that takes people over. She is just your best defense, because if you can get her on a dragon or one of those big golems, like, that feels phenomenal compared to literally anything else. Or even one of the little puppet elves, not the boss dogs, but one of the other ones that they spawn. Anything is good. So you can see this is where the push started to be successful. And at the same time, we had 2 pushes going. So it's one of those things that you basically, and we're doing damage to the boss though. So we actually pushed him into phase 2, which I didn't even notice the first time of watching this. But then I get my Drakisath off at the right time here, and that's what really helps us finish it off. So we basically forego that middle fight. He did his job, RIP that Drakisath, but he did his darndest. And that's it, guys. This is, again, one of the hardest bosses to take down, okay? Whelp Eggs is a must-use, in my opinion, and Wing 3 can be tough. This is by far the hardest boss in the entire raid, in my opinion, after these changes or updates. Ragnaros is next. Ragnaros, it is a very fundamental fight. It's a bit of a like damage check to make sure you have the right gear at the highest level, or the right units at a certain level. But basically, it's tank and spank, and I'll show you why in the next video. So make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see that. And once again, thank you so much to Warcraft Rumble for sponsoring today's video and the overall channel. I thoroughly love this game, guys. And if you want to join me, use the link in my description as well as the pinned comment to download Warcraft Rumble totally for free, so that you can take on Molten Core and ultimately get Ragnaros for yourself. I hope to see you guys in a video soon. See you later. Bye.